What's up, everyone? It's your boy Felix the Fox, and today we are going to discuss everyone's favorite disappointment. Man, what in the world happened here, guys? Okay, I just want to get right into this and say, yeah, look, Nintendo won. I guess. They got us. See, the whole point of this game was to give everyone access to these great games on the Switch, right? One of them now has a better version of itself on the Switch, now making this overpriced collection a third more useless. However, this game was always gonna sell. There was no denying that. A, it's Mario. B, it's 3D Mario. And C, it's 3D Mario that everyone has already played and praised, so they know they're getting good games. And yeah, the big D on this one is that it was hella overpriced, so to make it sell even more, they put an expiration date on it. On a video game, the only time that should ever happen is when licensing runs out. Looking at you, Jump Force! Looking at you! But regardless of even that, Nintendo has been shutting down emulation sites left and right, and then just uses emulation for this release. Like, this is a company that doesn't know how to make up its mind. But despite that we all threw a hissy fit about it, we were all mad about them getting rid of it and taking it off shelves in the eShop, and then what did we do? We all bought it anyways! Yeah, and I am a part of this biggest problem, because I bought the game digitally, and I still have a sealed copy locked away for safekeeping. For when all this did go down, I didn't want them to take it off the eShop, or take it off somewhere, so I had to make sure no matter what, I still had a way to play this game just in case. Yeah, no, I totally bought a sealed copy because I knew this thing was going to go up in value. And look at right here. It did! Because of that, Nintendo won, and we're a bunch of suckers. They did a half-baked port, threw in the soundtrack we've already been out and listened to 1,000 times, made the most bare minimum menu I've ever seen in a collection, and still made more than most games on the Switch to this day. And they put an expiration date on it. And when we get into actually playing these games, the actual meat and potatoes of this release, which again, this isn't anything different. Guys, let's be honest, we've all replayed these games a million times already through the hardware it came out on and other means. And for the argument of just, it does look better. Yeah, a little. If we really wanted to see these games in HD and widescreen, then there's so many ways to do that. And the most frustrating part of all of this to me is that this could have been the game where Nintendo realizes the true benefit of emulation. How it could help so many new gamers experience these classic games from these companies without losing half their bank account in a foot just to see what playing Pokemon Emerald was like on the Game Boy Advance. Anyways, point being, there was no reason to buy these games for the actual gameplay when theoretically you could play them for free otherwhere. So just to make sure that gamers that understood this knowledge were still going to buy the game, they sold it like bread, and we just ate it all up. We just couldn't handle not having a game that one day wouldn't exist on store shelves, just sitting in our closet sealed up and rising in value. Okay, listings for this game is going for $250 to $400, which is insane. On top of that, there's some really wild ones out there. I saw this one listing for $25,000, which I can't even imagine paying that much for a video game. But then I even noticed a sealed copy of Pokemon Emerald that was going for $100,000. So I guess I just don't know how any of this works. But check this out, right? Nintendo added that expiration date knowing this would happen on the eBay market. So why would that matter to them? They aren't making money off of it anymore anyways. They don't want anyone touching a ROM of Pokemon Emerald, good lord, but are willing for someone to cough up around a couple grand just for an experience that happened 2 decades ago to not only make money off of that sale, thinking it will make them, buy the new console and buy your new buggy game. Well, how are they going to buy it, Nintendo, if they can't afford it because they just lost an arm and a leg trying to pay for Platinum on DS? If Nintendo would just put these retro games on Switch Online or, something down the road, the amount of new fans they would have would be insane. But here we are, left to play a soulless collection that was sent out the door faster than 06 was. And to be honest, I don't know if it's just because I've had access to these games for so long, but playing it on here, they just do not hit the same at all. I think the best part of this collection is Super Mario Galaxy, hands down, without a doubt. Not only is it the best game out of these in my opinion, but it's also really fun to play this game with a Pro Controller. Yes, you still have to deal with all the motion controls, but it doesn't give me the same PTSD feeling I had with the Joy-Cons. Like, especially with this level in particular. Oh my god, the sheer fact that this level increases my heart rate every time I see it, it was such a godsend that I could use the Pro Controller for my motion controls instead of relying on basically the same Wii remote feeling. I don't know if that's a hot take, but there it is. I prefer the Pro Controller. And playing Sunshine is nice. Not as nice as on Dolphin. But the whole point of this thing, to me, was to put Galaxy on the Switch. Like, okay, we know Mario 64 is on the N64 expansion pass now. And you can long backwards jump in that version, so it's automatically better in my opinion. And I feel the Switch could emulate GameCube games if Nintendo just wanted to throw it in down the lines. Like, they could add it, but I don't think they ever will add the Wii, like ever. I think, okay, maybe on the Switch 2 if we're reaching. But I feel Mario Galaxy port to the Switch is really what they wanted, and then they threw in Sunshine and 64 for us because we've been such good little consumers. Yeah, to me, Super Mario 3D All-Stars was a really, really good Super Mario Galaxy Ultimate Deluxe Edition on Switch. And since maybe that wouldn't sell as much, and they couldn't really release that at the retail they wanted to release it for because this came out at $60, like no matter what, this game was going to come out at $60, guys, because in Nintendo's mind, it has 3D Mario on it, and Mario is full price all the time, no matter what. So I see their point, but man, this was just not it. Throwing in a game you probably knew was going to Switch Online, and then adding another game that you just put in HD, that way you could release Galaxy to the Switch and throw in a couple soundtracks because that makes it all worth it, and then sell it like milk to make sure nobody's happy and make it impossible for anyone to enjoy this release ever again unless they spend their entire check on a game that has 3 games that you can play elsewhere, but also spend all your money to play it the way they want you to. Man, I just love Nintendo's mindset sometimes.